What's up everybody, Just Brewing here. Welcome back to the home brewery for another grain to glass video. It's been a few months since my trip out to Asheville where I was able to collaborate with Clawhammer Supply and Homebrew for Life. While I was out there, I brewed my very first West Coast IPA, and well, I've had several, but I hadn't actually brewed one up until that point. And ever since then, I figured why not do it again, but let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's really see how we can make it pack a punch. So knowing that West Coast IPAs are naturally very, very dank, I wanted to make something like a double West Coast IPA and load it with the dankest hops that I can and see what happens. It's essentially a double West Coast IPA, and I think it turned out really, really great. If this is the kind of stuff that you like, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We just passed 2,000 subscribers, and that's an awesome feat to have accomplished here. And I want to say thank you really, really quickly. I do have a full-on subscriber special video where I brewed a very celebratory beer, as I do. And I'll go over a little bit more that update later on, because this video is a little bit different. But nonetheless, let's get right to brew day. The recipe for this 5-gallon double West Coast IPA is on screen now. It's the same recipe that Clawhammer used, but I beefed it up so that it could, hold up that double West Coast IPA name. We mash for 1 hour at about 149 degrees Fahrenheit. After our 1 hour mash, we're gonna get this up to a boil, and I'm going to pull some of my wort out here so I can add in my sugar. I like to add it in a separate vessel just to make sure I'm not clanking around in my the main kettle, and I don't have to worry about where the element is. Once that's done and it's up to a boil, we're going to follow the on-screen hop schedule. These hops that you're seeing, CTZ, are essentially some of the dankest hops out there, and Azacca I wanted for its pininess as well as some of the fruity aromas that it has. I do want to balance out some of that bitterness with some fruit, so that was kind of why I chose Azacca for this. We've got a massive 60-minute charge, and this is where it's going to get us a lot of our bitterness, and then the rest of our flavor and aroma is going to come from our 10-minute hop stand as well as our dry hop. After our boil and our whirlpool, we are going to chill this down, get it into a sanitized fermenter, and we're gonna pitch 2 packages of Mangrove Jack's US West Coast IPA yeast. Now, if you wanted to, you really could dose this with CBD or something like that. You would just need to make a tincture, let it sit for about a week or 2, and add that into your packaging, whether that's your keg or your bottling bucket. Once you're done with all that, it'll be time to keg, carb, and get it ready for the tasting. And here we have it in a glass, the double West Coast IPA. On the color, it's a nice light copper-ish color, kind of amber, not quite red, but almost amber. On the nose, you get quite a bit of dankness, some pine. I get a little bit of something like melon or citrus, maybe both, but it's quite aromatic. And some of those flavors really do come through. It's nice and bitter up front, but once it settles, the pininess, once that goes away, you do get some of that fruit flavor that I mentioned, just a little bit of citrus and melon, but it turns out really, really, really good. I would maybe dial it back just a little on some of the bittering. I mean, it is a double West Coast IPA, but it is still maybe just a touch bitter for most people. Maybe not for me. I love bitter beers like this. I mean, there are ones even more bitter than this that I like. So I'm quite okay with it, but if I'm giving a lot of people this beer, I would probably dial it back just a little bit. This is a really good beer, and one of the handful of times that every flavor that I wanted to come out of it actually came through. So this definitely was a win. I'm glad I did this, and I can definitely see myself doing it again. That's gonna do it for me. Thanks for viewing. Just Brewing. Oh, that's really hard with like a 9% beer.